What is lithium orotate, and why does it protect you from Alzheimer's disease? Alzheimer's disease is on the rise in all Western countries, and the pharmaceutical industry has no cure to offer. How could they? The medical establishment is widely divided on what the real cause of Alzheimer's is. Is it amyloid plaques, or is it an inflammation of the brain? Well, the medication Alzheimer patients receive targets the plaques, and we know that they basically do nothing to stop or reverse the disease, a circumstance that has been admitted by the pharmaceutical industry. The other wing of Alzheimer researchers says that Alzheimer's is an inflammation of the brain. One of their prominent members is Professor Pat McGeer from Canada, a well-respected Alzheimer researcher. Already a decade ago, he has contacted the pharmaceutical industry and asked to change treatment in order to follow the new findings and produce an anti-inflammatory that can be taken permanently to avoid common side effects. But, in his own words, the industry was not interested in that because their plaque medications are highly profitable. We have made an entire video on this, and we will link it at the end of this one. Well, if Alzheimer's disease is a disease of inflammation, then the strongest anti-inflammatory, which is without any doubt melatonin, would have a tremendous impact. At this moment in time, we are waiting for a new publication coming out from Professor Russell Reiter about Alzheimer's disease and melatonin. We are looking forward to getting our hands on it. Besides high doses of melatonin, we want to show you something else that most people have never heard of: lithium orotate. We will come to this in a minute, but first, some explaining. Most people think that brain cells cannot regrow, which is not completely accurate. The most important part of your brain right after the pineal gland is the hippocampus, and the cells of the hippocampus grow on a daily basis, even at old age. At least that is what it should do. Not so with people who suffer from Alzheimer's disease. We know from many experiments that learning something on a daily basis, or starting to learn how to play an instrument, for example, is very helpful. It can stop the advancement of Alzheimer's. This is exactly what the hippocampus region does. It needs fresh input each and every day in order to grow. This process is being done while building so-called index neurons. You build index neurons as a result of anything new you do or experience each day. These will be copied over to your hippocampus at night when you sleep and saved there, where it functions as a memory. And this process lets cells grow within your hippocampus, and lets make the hippocampus grow as a whole. This can even happen if you are 100 years old or older. It will never stop. This teaching goes back to Dr. Michael Nehls, a German researcher and specialist in this field, who wrote a number of books about it. Here in a podcast with Tucker Carlson, we will link his newest book in the description below. You can almost tell if a person produces index neurons or not by watching their behavior. People who produce them have the following attitudes. They are not fearful, for example, about viruses, wars, etc. They use their own brains, regardless of what most other persons do. They are curious and want to know things. People who do not produce them have the following attitudes. They are depressive. They are not interested in many things. They are more fearful of all. They are not curious, and they want to stick with what they know. Now here comes the elephant in the room. Is there anything easy, like a magic pill to increase the production of index neurons and consequently have your hippocampus get larger each day without trying to learn how to play the piano? The good news is, yes, there is. According to Dr. Nehls, there is a tiny molecule that does exactly that. It is called lithium orotate. According to Dr. Nehls, here in a podcast with Dr. Drew, it can do cognitive wonders. He describes it very detailed in his latest book, The Indoctrinated Brain. While lithium is a trace mineral, the medical community does not give it too much attention, but it could be the key to preventing Alzheimer's. It has highly anti-inflammatory effects against cytokine storms in the brains, and the active hippocampus works closely hand in hand with your pineal gland. As mentioned earlier, this process takes place at nighttime when we settle all that we have experienced during the day. To do so, you need the REM phase of your sleep, or rapid eye movement. To obtain REM phases, there must be melatonin, and this is how the circle closes. Lithium orotate is pretty cheap, and it is being sold as 4 or 5 milligram capsules. We will link a product in the description. You do not even need 4 or 5 milligrams to get the desired effect. 2 milligrams will be enough. Dr. Nehls goes one step further and gives us a turbo effect when we use lithium orotate. Combined with omega-3 fatty acids, you can potentiate its effect. But he also warns about fish oil capsules because, well, most of them turn rancid. If you are not eating fish on a regular basis due to mercury concerns, he recommends the best next thing: algae oil capsules. In all honesty, we did not even know this alternative existed, and we find it a perfect solution. Also, here is a link in the description on where you can get it cheaply. Protect yourself against this dreadful disease, Alzheimer's. Study Dr. Nehls' approach if you have a family member who is affected. After all, who would not want to possess a hippocampus that grows each day with new cells, a brain that is always curious, that does not know depression, and that beats inflammation of the brain each and every day? You still can learn how to play the piano on top of it if you like to do so. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, show it and subscribe to the channel. More interesting topics to come.